Hi, this is a FreeSimpleGUI tips video. I've been recording these mainly as reference for my future self, but if you found your way here, welcome to the channel, and I hope you find something useful. Today we're going to talk about some more special buttons in FreeSimpleGUI. These are the ones that allow you to browse the file system on your computer. So they're pretty powerful for just one line of code each. So let's see what we got for code here. So this is just a simple sample program, just demonstrating the browse buttons. So we actually have four of them. We have the file browse, which returns just one file path where you just choose a file path. And all these are similar to your regular Windows program. They work to me seamlessly like the ones for your regular Windows programs. You have file browse that returns one. Then you have this one, they add a S on it, so it's called files browse. So that's going to return, you can hold your control key and select multiple files if you want to select multiple files. And it returns them as the file path, each file path, but it just has a delimiting character in between them. So it's a string with a delimiter character in between each of the ones. And then we have a folder browse, and that's going to return a folder path as a string. You might want to do a folder path, get back a folder path if you wanted to do like pull all the images or something up here. This line of code here, you can parse a folder for images using this code here. I don't show it down here because not the purpose of the video, but you wanted to do images and get all the image files, or you wanted to find all the text files, you could use something similar to that. And then you have this last one called file save as, and it returns the file path, a single file path as a string, as what you would do in a normal file save as. You have the opportunity to type a file name in you'll see how that works. You'll have an opportunity to type a file name. And just like a regular Windows program, you're going to get a warning pop up if you choose or type in a name of a same existing file in that directory. And you'll get a warning saying that, do you want to continue? I should say that all these things, all they're doing is returning a string. They're not doing any getting of the file, it's getting any information, or they're not saving. The file save as doesn't actually save a file. You have to do your own code for that, and I just put that here. These just return the file name or names as a string. You supply the open or save code. So if you're using like the OpenCV or something like that, or you're using the images, pillow file for images or something like that, then they have their own save and load and stuff like that, so you would use them. But this is just for the GUI, and it makes it really nice to have a way of doing that. So we have just a short layout here demonstrating all of them. I actually have two file browse buttons on this one. One of them is the normal button with nothing else in it. If I didn't have this, if I just put parenthesis, open, close parenthesis, it would just, only difference would be it would just say browse instead of browse all. I just wanted to show that you can put in your own text, but otherwise it's going to say it. So, and then you can also enter the file types that you want to look for And that'll be in a drop down box on your normal way you do it. And you do it with tuples, two things, tuples. So you can say whatever you want to hear, but it's going to look for JPEG at the end, and this is going to look for ping at PNG at the end. We got that, two buttons for that, and they're both. So if this file browse, like I say, it's going to return a string, and it's going to just put it where you tell it to. If you don't tell it, it's going to go to the previous entry on that row. So if we got file browse right after this input, it's going to put it into this input statement. You don't have to tell it that. It's just going to go back to that one. Now, the second one, it's going to be on the same row. So this is what follows that. So we really can't do that. So what we have to do is we have to tell it what the target is. And we're targeting the same input called file B. So that's how that works. And then this one is even easier. You got the input, normal input, and we're calling it files B just to give it a separate key. And you notice we got the S on the file browse. And like I said, I just wanted to give it a button text, a multi-browse, so we could tell it apart. And I chose the file delimiter. If you don't give it a file delimiter, it gives a semicolon. But I thought I wanted to try the new line character, so I had an idea of doing that. I actually had the idea that I could just put this, because this is going to put it into this input. I had the idea they have what they call a multi-line input, but I couldn't put multi-line right before this because it just didn't, threw up an error. So I guess you can't feed it into that. So I'm putting the multi-line in, and down in my code down here, I'm going to fill the multi-line, and the new line character comes in handy for that. You don't have to worry about it. It's going to give you a file on each line. And then we got the folder browse, and that's just what it says. And you're just going to come up with a folder, and it's going to return the folder. And then, like I said, you can use your OS or other ways of parsing what's in that folder to pull out all the images or text files if you wanted to. And then the file save as, like I said, it will just go that, and it's just going to it's got, this is the file save as, and it's just going to put the name in this input here. I added the SG save button. You'd think that this would do something, but SG save is actually just a button, just a shortcut button, and it doesn't do anything. So actually down here, and like I said, for the while true, each event has its own thing. So when the event when the save gets pressed, then all I'm doing is printing out only a button just to show that it doesn't go looking for files or anything like that. It's just any same as a regular button press. So, and let's see, for the files up here, you can see that the multi line thing I had at the key of ML. So when we get the files input in there, then it's going to do this, where it's going to update the multi-line thing along the way as well. And like I said, that's all delimited by, it's just going to do the delimited, which works well for that. But then if you want to get like a list of file names instead of a delimited thing, all you have to do is use this values of that, and then do the regular string split on it, and we're splitting it on the new line character, and we're printing them down there. So even though we're showing stuff in our GUI, we'll be also looking at what happens down in our terminal as well. So let's go ahead. That's enough talking. Let's get to the program. So I'll bring it up. And like I said, just a lot of inputs, and you need a pretty long thing to hold it. I got 80 characters on each of these, so hold the characters. So mainly just want to show, so you hit the browse all button, and each one of these just brings up a, just a regular old thing like you'd see with the Windows program. And you can actually put where you want it to start looking, but this is just, I think the default is wherever the last time somebody was looking at a file, that's where it goes to. So we might test that a little bit in a second. But you can see this is all the files. We got applications, we got 3D printer stuff going on and stuff like that. So we got all kinds of stuff. So I'm not well, we can pick one and save it, I guess. It doesn't matter. So like I say, it doesn't do anything to it. All it's going to return is the file name. So I'm going to say open, and it puts it in here. And you can see we're also printing it out down here just to show that it's happening. Now, like I say, this browser image here is it's going to look for the same thing, but it's only looking for JPEGs and PNGs. So let's go ahead and do that. And now, I don't think I mentioned it on the other one, but before it was all files, so it didn't have any choices down here, just all, I guess. But here we're only pulling out all our JPEGs in our thing, and folders, of course, will show up. But all our JPEGs are showing, and we can change that to PNGs. And it brings up all our PNGs that we have in our that I have in my downloads right now. So we can just pick one of those and say open. And again, it doesn't do anything but bring the string of that file back to us, and you would have to do other code to act on that, open it up in an image program or something like that. So this is where, okay, so that's all both of these just bring up one file. But we have the multi-browse, and you could also limit it to just JPEGs if you wanted as well, but this is all. So we're going to do that. You can see it says all files down here, and if you click on it, it's just all files. So we can get all files down here. So we can pick a couple of them. So like I say, just click one and hold the control, and you can pick another one if you want to. And so we'll do those two there. Well, maybe we'll do a third one. We'll do a 3D file. Like I said, it doesn't matter. You're not opening anything up. All you're doing is returning the 3 file paths. So open it up. And it's got a long thing in here. You can see it just closed up. And you it, down here, let's see. It didn't show it too much. But anyhow, because I'm using that new line delimiter, after it returns this, it creates an event, and that event, I'm telling it to update what's in this file here. So it just puts those in. Because it has a new line, it goes down to the next line for the next line in the multi-line thing. But like I say, that just displays them. That's all that is. That's for us. But then, like I said, I did the other code where I split the string on the new line character, and you can see where we actually have a list with list items in a string for each one of those. So this would be better if you're going to act on it with one of the OS things or something like that. You would want, individual file names, not delimited. You'd have to get them out of there. So anyhow, that's that one. And this is the folder browse, and it's just all it does is it only going to let you do a folder. It's not going to do anything. So if I do this and keep going, there's no more subfolders in there, then it's going to do that. But you still got your things here so you can test it. We can do test and select that. And it says, just returns that. And like I said, just get it. I'm printing it out down there as well. And now the save as does, like to say, that's the same thing. So it's save as. Now, like I said, okay, so this came up to the test folder that we were in before. So that's shows that it just wherever we left off is where we, when we closed this, that's where it was. So if I collect one of these files and it automatically does that, and I've hit save, then it's going to give us the warning. Do you want to replace it? Now it's not actually going to replace it at this point because we have to code it to save it into that place. So when you use a save, you know, like if you have the image.save or something like that, it doesn't ask if it's, you know, if there's already a file there or something like that. It's just going to replace whatever's there. So this is nice that you get the option to know that, okay, I'm either going to replace it or no, I don't want to replace it. And then you could just put it in there and you could say, well, I want to call this one image or lesson 2.3 or something like that. And then when you save it, it doesn't ask that question because you got it, and it'll bring back the path that with the new file name that you gave it. So it allows you to do that, and then you could just use this here in your image.save, and it would just put that image wherever you wanted it to. So that's pretty cool. And then, like I said, in my code, the save is nothing. It's just a regular button, and you again have to do something with it. So I clicked it, click it again, and the only thing I got it doing is up here. I got it. If you getting that save button pressed, it's printing. Only a button press. So that's what we're doing. All right. So I'm going to exit out of it. So that's a good tutorial for file browsing. I haven't done much with it, but I did have a project where I needed to use it and it came in handy. I said, oh, well, I think I better do a tips video on that. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.